The Sixth Amendment is a crucial one because it emphasizes the importance of a speedy or well-timed trial. This amendment protects the rights of United States citizens from being held indefinitely in prisons or jails. This also protects the accused from being wrongfully sentenced by having a jury of peers that are unbiased and have no personal relations to those accused. The Sixth Amendment reads, "In all criminal prosecutions, the accused shall enjoy the right to a speedy and public trial by an impartial jury of the state and district wherein the crime shall have been committed, which district shall have been previously ascertained by law, and to be informed of the nature and cause of the accusation, to be confronted with the witnesses against him, to have compulsory process for obtaining witnesses in his favor, and to have the assistance of counsel for his defense." According to FindLaw.com, it is believed that the right to a speedy trial is taken from the Magna Carta and was worked into the Virginia Declaration of Rights of 1776, where it was worked into the Sixth Amendment. The rationale behind the right to a speedy trial contains many ideas, including holding the accused in jail takes a lot of financial help from the public, and oftentimes the families of the accused need monetary aid as well. It is also believed that the delay in trial may impair the accused's ability to defend him or herself. A delay may also result in the loss of witnesses and evidence, which could ultimately condemn an innocent person or free a guilty one. Delays are circumstantial. The right is difficult to deny and is one of the highest protective rights through the United States Constitution. There may be necessary delays such as a missing witness or stolen evidence. Delays are looked at and chosen to be necessary or if they are unconstitutional. A determination that a defendant has been denied his right to a speedy trial results in a decision to dismiss the indictment or to reverse a conviction in order that the indictment be dismissed. The impartiality of Amendment 6 is a principle of the right to fair trials, which is applicable to both the state and federal governments. Also, is applicable to the Due Process and Equal Protection Clauses of the 14th Amendment, and possibly the Due Process Clause of the 5th Amendment. The small jury chosen has to be proven to be unbiased and willing to conclude guilty or not guilty on the sole basis of evidence provided. Witherspoon v. Illinois, 1968, is a Supreme Court case where Witherspoon challenged the courts in an attempt to keep people that are against the death penalty from participating in jury duty. Illinois has the death penalty for capital crimes. The Supreme Court ruled that it is unconstitutional to prevent those against the death penalty from taking jury duty because this would precipitate a jury that only supports the death penalty, preventing the accused from having their right to an unbiased, objective, and impartial jury. Doggett v. United States, 1992. Mark Doggett, who will be referred to as the accused, was indicted in 1980 on drug charges. When two officers under Douglas Drivers, who I will refer to as Agent, orders to arrest the accused at his mother's house, it was to their knowledge that he had left the country to Colombia. An arrest upon his return was planned. In 1981, it was discovered that the accused was arrested in Panama on drug charges. Believing that an extradition would not be met, Agent requested from Panamanian authorities that upon the accused's release he be expelled to the United States. The Panamanian authorities promised to comply, but instead allowed him to travel back to Colombia. The American Embassy in Panama notified the Department of State of the accused's departure to Colombia, but the Drug Enforcement Agency was never informed and assumed that the accused had remained in Panamanian prison custody. Agent would not discover the accused's travels to Colombia until he was assigned to Colombia in 1985. From there, he had presumed that the accused took residence in Colombia and made no effort to find him. This was not the case, however. The accused had traveled back to America on September 25, 1982, and went through customs in New York City. He did not go back to the drug trade, and instead earned a college degree, married, and lived openly under his name and had no other run-ins with the law. In September 1988, When a credit check was run on several thousand people, it came to agents' knowledge that where the accused had took up residence. The accused was never made aware of the indictment against him. On September 5, 1988, the accused was put under arrest. 8.5 years after the indictment, and 6.5 years after his return to the United States. The accused motioned to have his indictment dismissed on grounds of a speedy trial. The court voted 5-4 in favor of the accused. Justice Souter noted that the question before the court was whether or not 8.5 years between the plaintiff's indictment and arrest violated his Sixth Amendment right to a speedy trial. Citing previous Supreme Court cases, Justice Souter notes, "The Supreme Court has observed in prior cases that unreasonable delay between formal accusation and trial threatens to produce more than one sort of harm, including oppressive pre-trial incarceration, anxiety and concern of the accused, and the possibility that the accused defense will be impaired." The court held that 8.5-year delay between the accused's indictment and actual arrest violated his Sixth Amendment right to a speedy trial, arguing that government had been negligent in pursuing him and that the accused had remained unaware of the indictment until his arrest. Barker v. Wingo, 1972, is a case that the Supreme Court used to set the precedence of determining factors of whether this amendment has been denied or not. The court adopted 4 factors as the determining factors on a case-by-case basis to decide whether or not a defendant has been prejudiced by the lack of a speedy trial. The 4 determining factors are the length of the delay, the reason for the delay, the time and manner in which the defendant has asserted his right, and the degree of prejudice to the defendant which the delay has caused. The Supreme Court has ruled that overcrowded dockets is an unreasonable basis for a delay, meaning it is unconstitutional to delay a trial with the reasoning of the dockets being overcrowded, and this violates the Sixth Amendment. The Sixth Amendment is different than many of the other amendments because it is vague in its own way. The importance of the Sixth Amendment is to minimize the harms of lengthy trials and waiting periods. This also helps to serve justice beneficially and not to rush or elongate the process. The time of a trial affects the victims, families, the accused, and community members. To bring this a bit closer to home, in Paxton, there is an ongoing murder case nearing 4 years old for a 12-year-old boy. There has been no convictions yet, only an arrest on the boy's soccer coach. The accused has a right to a speedy trial to clear his name as soon as possible if he is innocent, and be able to return to his day-to-day life. And the family, they deserve closure, with the true justice being served for the death of their son. Thank you.